Here's a story out of Hannah Claire's motherland. Not very, yeah, previous motherland.
Oh, my mom is from Canada. I don't know what to tell you.
Hannah Claire is from the UK, guys.
My paternal side's from the UK.
See, I told you. Didn't you say?
Oh,
you made a thing like,
fatherland.
"Ooh, I get this special tea from the UK." Didn't you say that?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't sell tea. I'm not Luke.
Didn't I feel like somebody said that they're like particular about tea and they get like a particular tea that comes from England? You didn't say that?
I have a tea. Like, I do drink a British tea. And like, there are, like, rules about
okay,
doing
yeah.
it,
See,
but I don't know what
He's
I'm talking
British, you
about.
guys.
I mean, I talk so much on the internet now. I never know what.
Yeah, Hannah Claire exposed. She's but she sent me this story. I don't. It's so sad. I'm gonna let her take the lead because this is sad. This is crazy.
I had to do a double take when I was reading this headline this morning. So it's from National Review, and it says the headline is nearly 1/3 of pregnancies in England end in abortion, according to a new report. So in England, statistically, this is data from the Office for National Statistics, said that 29.7% of pregnancy were ended in abortion in 2022, up from 26.5% the year prior. This is the highest proportion on record.
Wow.
25% is already bonkers.
That's totally insane. The fact that it's going up. Also, I'm sorry, like these Western countries have a population crisis, and 1/3 of their pregnancies are ending in abortion. Like, you can't tell me, and this is what happens when you talk to people who are pro-abortion. They're like, well, but like the life of the mother and this circumstance or whatever. Like, you can't tell me that 1/3 of all pregnancies in the
froze. Mohammed froze her.
He did. Durka. No, do not make fun of my abortions.
big abortion lobby really cutting me off there. I don't know where I was in that rant, but I don't believe that you could look at a number like this, that 1/3 of pregnancies end in abortion in this country, and say every single one of those was medically necessary. Like, that's nuts. And your population is collapsing. What is going on here? Melonie, I don't know if you have a take on this, but
yeah, this is honestly devastating. This is a terrible thing. And I think that one reason why we have so much of this problem going on, and obviously we're just in a sinful world, but
I'd like to see some demographics on this.
Yeah, I do want to see demographics on it. What we do see in the US with Planned Parenthood and stuff like that, a huge chunk of the babies that are being aborted are from the Black community. And so it's just like, I'm curious about the demographics of what's going on here, but also we have this negative stigma surrounding mothers, and you, especially those of the single mother variety. And I get it. It's not an ideal situation to be a single mother, or a single father for that matter, but single mothers this is what I think those of us who are on the conservative side need to do better with the stigma and the hate that goes towards single mothers, because yes, some of it, obviously a huge chunk of it, is irresponsibility, but another portion of why they're single mothers is because of the deadbeat fathers as well. So it's a combination of things. So when you tell women that they're worthless if they're a single mother and they're not worthy of love, or you're just going to shame their entire existence, or your life is ruined because you're a single mother and nobody will respect you, I think that this is part of a result of that. Is because then if a woman gets pregnant, let's say that, oh man, the guy that impregnated her could have been from a one-night stand, or a guy who wouldn't commit to her anyway because of the problems with hookup culture. And they might think, wow, my life is going to be ruined if I don't do this. Now, of course, it's still bad that they do it, and there's no excuse, but this whole, it's definitely not helping the situation. And in terms of what I see, like in the comments on TikTok and things like that, on these kind of topics, a lot of these girls are like, oh my goodness, my life's going to be ruined if I have this baby and I don't have it. There's no dad around. And then, and so they do that. And yeah,
I mean,
I think
there's something to say, like, if you found yourself in a position where you were potentially going to be a single mother, I would hope that you have a loving community around you that's going to support you. I hope that your parents show you support. I hope that your friends show you support, and that you still elect to have your baby anyways, because I think your baby deserves a shot at life. The other thing is, like, maybe think really critically about who you sleep with. This is not something you should take lightly, because the risk is always on the table, no matter how effective they say birth control is. And what I also think is that it becomes this conversation of like, well, I just don't want this right now, because yes, there are some women who feel the concern about, you know, maybe I can't provide us that life because the dad's not in the picture, but there are other women who will be in long-term relationships and will be like,
that's true,
this isn't part of my current plan. I want to wait 3 years. I want to wait 5 years. And so they have, you know, they terminate now.
Yeah.
And I think that's sort of more of an act of selfishness and maybe an act of fear in some ways. You want to have compassion for people who are scared. I mean, parenthood is like not a joke, and it really does change your life. On the other hand, sometimes you have to change and grow up, and sometimes deal with the consequence of your actions, which includes, you know, maybe having a baby before you thought you were ready to. You just have to you have to go with it. Because to me, like, I find it really hard to you know, what always bothers me about when people talk about having children is this, like, it's such a big inconvenience, and it's difficult, it's hard, it changes your life. On the other hand, you aren't meant to just live in creature comfort forever, and sometimes the hard experiences are worth it. So if you are able to conceive a child when so many people can't, maybe you should think really critically. Like, maybe you don't want to be the person to raise your child, but like, could you consider adoption? Could you consider something else? Like, why does this child pay the price for you know? And I'll have empathy, like, if you're in a difficult position, but I don't think it's like, well, I just should get rid of this well,
you could adopt, you could give your baby up for adoption.
There's so many there are more options. I mean, yes, you'd have to carry the child, yes, you'd have to go through heartbreak of separating with the child, but like, is that ultimately why you'd rather have an abortion, so that you can just avoid that pain and suffering, so your child can suffer on your behalf? Like, that seems awful to me.
Well, coincidentally, I just want to add this. UK Parliament voted a month ago to decriminalize abortion at all stages for any reason.
So this
you could have a 9-month-old abortion. Yeah, this will go higher.
Oh no! I remember like 15 years ago when the show Teen Mom was really popular. For example,
I used to watch every episode. I used to watch for like the season with like Janelle, Teen Mom 2. I think I was like
Teen Mom 2.
Yeah, Teen Mom 2 is the one I watched.
The babies from that season, or like the early teen moms, are all now like 16 or 17 years old.
I know,
yeah,
it's crazy.
So weird.
But I remember at that time that was like, whoa, this is insane. You just thought, wow, this is like the worst situation, and it's definitely not an ideal situation by any means, but it's still not good for a 16-year-old to get pregnant. But what's funny is then now, if you look at current statistics, they're like, oh, look, teen pregnancies are way down. Well, is it because is that a good thing, or is it not? Is it because they're having abortions now a lot more than they were?
I remember
back
being
abortion should be stigmatized. Like, it's they made it like this thing now that like it's a form of birth control. It's
that's
fucked
messed up. Yeah.
Well, they also they never, like, Teen Vogue very famously put out an article talking about like, here's what you should get your friend who's just had an abortion. Teen Vogue, let's remember. And it's like DVDs, an ice pack, some fun enamel Planned Parenthood pins. Like, it just seems so sick to me, because I assume if you're in a position where you're having an abortion, you are probably really struggling from it. And I think the lobby for pro-abortion, in a number of the harms they've done against women, one of them is to say that it's just something you do and you walk away from it. Like, it's like getting a facial or something. Like, I think there are huge.
Coincidentally, if they had gotten that instead, they wouldn't have been pregnant.
You stop it right now. You know I didn't mean that.
What? How did you know what that meant, Hannah Claire?
You just see yourself out.
Hannah Claire, how did you? I didn't. How did you know what that was?
I don't know what you're talking about. I refuse to be a part of your
Melonie. You girls don't laugh at that. That was for the boys.
You're saying that if they went to the spa instead of sleeping with a random
exactly.
man.
That's what he meant. Yeah.
Oh yes, that's what I meant.
But to Hannah Claire's point is that this is a very, it's a very traumatizing, terrible thing. And to encourage this with girls, and especially the young teens and things of that nature, is to be like, oh yeah, they've tried to destigmatize it and act like, oh, this is just like, it's just like going to the doctor for any healthcare thing and you just do it and then you forget about it. It's like, you're actually hurting women when you promote this and downplay it and don't treat it as something that the terrible thing that it is because any woman with a conscience who went through something like that is going to have to deal with the repercussions of that for the rest of their lives, and the guilt from that, and because that's just a traumatic experience. It should not be encouraged.
I've known a few women who've had it done, and every one of them, one of them happens to be that girl who's sleeping with everybody. But then, don't laugh, Maggie. And the other one I know, like, I mean, if it is, they are not the same after that. And like, what ends up happening is they get older and they're like, man, what if? And that's a hard thing to shake, A 15-year-old doing it, obviously is a little different than somebody who's 25 and on the hookup apps and are just like that. What was that show from Euphoria? I can't do anything because I had an abortion yesterday.
Oh, girls. And speaking of
girls, yeah.
Lena Dunham was famously one time quoted saying, like, oh, I wish I could have had an abortion to experience it. And then she said it was a joke later. And I want to be like, you're so disgusting.
That's just evil. That's why I feel like people who say things like that are actually demonically, possibly possessed, but influenced at any rate. Because to say something like that is disgusting. And it's disrespectful to so many women who went through something like that and are dealing with the trauma and grief and regret from that.
Yeah.